you see what I'm saying, Sammy? It's like people, they love to throw this word, I love you for the sake of Allah. Or you're my brother in Islam. What do you even know what that means? Do you even know what that means? Do you see what I'm saying? If you say I love you for the sake of Allah, how can you go around and having negative assumptions of me? Because one of my rights as a believer, as a Muslim, if you say you love me for the sake of Allah, you love me for the iman that's in me, right? So then if that's the case now, then how can you go around making negative assumptions about me? And that's one of the most fundamental, foundational reasons as to why brothers and sisters, they have problems amongst themselves. Now, for example, you got friends now, or you got a group of friends, right? Next thing you know, they start beefing, backbiting, spying on each other, slandering, tale-bearing. Look, these are all major sins. Oh, did you see what he did? Did you see what she did? Oh, tale-bearing, namima, go into next man and say, oh, did you hear what he said about you? Spying, all these things. But where did that all come from? Where does it all start from? From assumptions. Because if you look at the ayah, after Allah said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told you that verily the believers, they are brothers. They're brothers. So what connected you? Iman, right? Iman is what connected you. Because I might have a brother, and he's not even Muslim, but we are connected by blood. And I have a brother in Palestine who's a Muslim. We don't share the same blood, but we share the same faith. We share Iman, right? He's got rights on me that I have to fulfill that even my own brother doesn't have. He's got special, exclusive treatment, special love for me that even my own brother won't have. Because he's got Iman through that blood is thicker than water, but Iman is thicker than blood. So okay, now we're Muslims. We're believers, inshallah. Okay, good. So now what did Allah tell you? An ayah after, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, oh you who believe, ijtanibu kathiran min adh-dhann, stay away from a lot of assumptions. Why? Because inna ba'd adh-dhanni ithm, because them assumptions, some of them are sin. They're going to lead to sin. You're going to be sinful. You're assuming about a man. He done an action, he said something to you, he looked at you a certain way. How do you know what he meant by it? Why can't you have a good interpretation for him? Why can't you think good about him? How can you look, if, for example, yeah, a guy has a dealing with another guy, okay? And the guy, for example, he acted in a way where he didn't expect him to, yeah? For example, I didn't think of a real life scenario. Okay, there's two friends. Okay, they're playing basketball on a basketball court. Okay, one's captain, he's picking from the team, right? And he doesn't pick his friend first. He picks him second, third, fourth, maybe even last. Okay, now he did an action. For you to now take from that, he's violating me. He's trying to embarrass me. Or if you take from that, he's trying to humiliate me. Or if you take from that, he's picking me last for whatever other reason. These are all assumptions. Whatever meaning, whatever definition, whatever intention you're trying to get behind this action, it's an assumption. It's an assumption, right? There's no fact, there's no basis behind it. Why? Because it's the action of the heart. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have to stay away from placing meanings and placing reasons for people's actions. Unless you ask the person, you never know. Do you see what I'm saying? It's happened to me so many times. I speak to a brother and he saw, me do X, Y, Z, and then he's like, Akhi, you did this because of this. 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 I'm like, bro, slow down, Akhi, man. Where are you getting this from? Just ask me. And I'm standing in front of him and I'm telling you, Akhi, no, that's not why I did it. I did it because of X, Y, Z. But now, because that assumption, remember, assumption is dhanni, it's something that's speculative, right? But what happens? Because you've played it over in your mind so many times, and you found reasons to back that assumption up, now it's certainty to you. So even when I'm standing in front of you telling you, Akhi, wallah, I say, wallahi wa rabbil Ka'bah, I swear by the Lord of the Ka'bah. I said, Akhi, that's not what I meant, or that's not how it was. But for you, what do? You think I'm lying. You want to tell me, or you told me to my face, you think I'm lying. Why? Because you started to believe that speculation as something that is what? That's something that's true. That's what I always say to brothers. I always say this to brothers. We're working and sometimes we have bad communication. Even me and Mr. Wavy, we're talking and sometimes we misunderstand each other. And we always have this thing of, we always assume that, I wanted you to do it this way. So he might end up, doing it in a way or I might end up doing something in a way where I assume I want Mr. Wavy to do. And we have this saying amongst ourselves. We always say, listen, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I'm not swearing, not as in back to ass as in the donkey. You make an ass, you, me. You make an ass out of you and me. So don't assume. Because look what Allah said after in the ayah. So after you assume, what did he say? He said, اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. Then Allah said, وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. Then after he said, stay away from assumptions, he said, and then don't spy. Why? Because when you make assumptions, what's going to happen? You don't have proof for that assumption, right? You think, I think he did that. I think she said that about me because she thinks I'm ugly. I think she said that about me because, she wants to, whatever. Yeah? But you don't have proof. So what do? Go onto Instagram. What's she saying? What's she posting? What's his tweet saying? What's her tweet saying? Oh, she's indirecting me. So you start spying. The spying, it gives you validation towards your assumption. But the thing is, even when you're spying, you're not spying objectively. You're spying with a preconceived notion. So you're looking for things that are gonna back up what you already perceived. Yeah. And then what did Allah say after He said, "Don't spy with that"? Just what did He say? وَلَا يَغْتَ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا. And don't eat each other's flesh. Don't eat each other's flesh. Don't backbiting, ghiba. Don't eat each other's flesh. Don't do this. And obviously, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He defined after that it's like eating, your brother's dead corpse. So the point is, don't backbite one another. Because look, you've assumed, you've spied, now you believe the person's a certain way. So what do? Listen, do you know what my man did? Do you know what my man did? Do you know what he's on? And you're speaking negatively about your brother or your sister in Islam. And pay attention. You know what it is? A lot of the time, it's not even backbiting, it's slander. It's slander. Shall I tell you why? Because backbiting is when I tell you something bad about my brother and it's true. Or my sister and it's true. Like in slander is when I tell you something about them and it's not even true. So this process, you assumed it wasn't even true in the first place. If it was true, it would have been backbiting. But 99% of the time, it's not even going to be true. You know what I'm saying? So wallahi, huge problems would be solved. Wallahi, if I look, 99% of the conflicts I see between brothers and sisters, husband and wife, mother and daughter and son and colleagues and work and friends, is conflict. It's all sprouting from assumptions. That's the place where it's all igniting from. That's the fire that's burning, that's separating the Muslims.
It's crazy because I'm looking through my notes on my phone and there's a little benefit from Imam Ibn al-Qayyim where he mentions why people fall into backbiting. And he said that it all starts off with having bad thoughts.
Having bad thoughts?
Yeah. And then it hardens your heart. It occupies your mind and then it hardens your heart and then it leads you to something.
Look, there you go. I never came across that statement in my life. I was just going by what Shaykh Abdul Rahman ibn Nasr said on the tafsir of the ayah in Surah Al-Hujurat. But let me read the statement. Because that statement is perfect. Look what he said. He said having bad thoughts. He said,
I paraphrased it.
MashaAllah. Ibn al-Qayyim on why people fall into backbiting. He said having bad thoughts towards a person, number one, until it occupies your mind, number two. Then this makes your hard heart, and this leads you to slander the person. Not even but slander, lie against the person. There you go. So wallahi, if the people just started to have positive assumptions for their brothers and sisters, wallahi, a lot of problems would be solved, man. A lot will be solved. And that's why, the Salaf, people, they say this is the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but it's not authentic to the Prophet. But like it is a statement from the Salaf. They would say, make 70 excuses for your brother. And wallahi, I say this every time sisters do this issue a lot. She's taking shots at me on Twitter. She's taking shots at me on her story. She's taking shots at me on her timeline. Oh, calm down, sister. There's maybe 100 sisters that she knows that she might have an issue with, and she's saying whatever she's saying. And you now think, the universe revolves around you. Wallahi, make 70 excuses. 70 excuses. And I tell you something. Every time a bad thought comes to your mind, literally exhaust the list of 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to find 70 good interpretations for your brother and sister. If you've gone through the list and 70 interpretations, you still shouldn't make a bad assumption, but then maybe I can cut you some slack. It's still not I'm saying it's allowed. You should always carry on assuming good.
Yeah.
But after that, if you did it, maybe I could allow you. Like 70 is a lot. But who's done that? Who even made 70? Does that make sense? And also then people should understand it also that on the other side, yeah, it's never right for a person to make negative assumptions about me without proof, but then I also should be careful to not place myself in a situation where people might think bad of me. Like when the Prophet ﷺ was walking with his wife, Safiya radiallahu anha, and then the Sahaba saw, and then he said, Inna Safiya bint Huyay. He said, that's my wife, Safiya. And the Sahaba said, we never doubted you, O Messenger of Allah. They never had a bad assumption of the Prophet that he's walking with some strange woman, a'udhu billah. But the Prophet ﷺ said, Inna shaytana yajri min ibn Adam, yajri min ibn Adam majri dam. That shaitan, he flows through the children of Adam like the blood flows through the veins. Meaning, I know you didn't think bad of me. If the Sahaba thought bad of the Prophet, it would have been disbelief, because you can't think bad of the Prophet ﷺ. But the Prophet ﷺ is understanding that shaitan, he goes through the human's blood like the vein flows through their body. So he's always going to try and make the Muslim doubt the Muslim and think bad of the Muslim. So then the Prophet said, I'm clarifying. You know what I'm saying? To teach you that stay out of what you called mawatinu tuham. Stay out of places of suspicion. Especially a person involved in da'wah, seeking knowledge, talib al-ilm. These people are specifically them. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu said, these people should be at the head of trying to stay out of places of suspicion. So it's important. But sometimes you can try your best to even stay out of places of suspicion by clarifying, just in case a person thinks you've done something wrong. But people's hearts are so corrupted, so hard, they've believed so much negative about you that it's not even going to change their mind. But I tell you something, wallahi akhi, if we change this issue of assumptions, if we can cure that disease, husband and wives are going to stop fighting. Brothers and sisters are going to stop fighting. Sisters and sisters and brothers, like akhi, wallahi, there's going to be so much khair in the world. You see what I'm saying? And pay attention. Allah said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu. Oh, you who believe, stay away from suspicion. So then the more iman you have, what happens? The more likely you're going to be able to fulfill this command. Yeah. Because Allah is talking to people of iman. So then if you're having negative assumptions, this is indicative of a problem in your iman, in your heart. Like, what's the foundation of iman? Knowledge. What's the foundation of iman? Knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more it fuels your heart, the more your iman grows. And the more you seek knowledge, the more you learn about tawheed, the more you learn about aqidah, the more you learn about fiqh, the more you learn about these things, right, the more your iman will increase, and the more you'll be able to implement, not just command. When Allah said lower your gaze, you'll be able to implement that. When Allah said don't say oof to your mom and dad, you'll be able to implement that. All of it comes back to knowledge. Brothers and sisters, I need your attention for just 1 minute. Our brothers around the world, they need help. Some of them, if they don't get food and water to drink, they are going to die. And then there's others, like those who are back home, who live on the same streets as us. And if they don't get help in terms of spiritual help, they might lose their faith. Now, both those whose lives are in danger and whose faith are in danger, they both need to be helped. But I want to explain to you the repercussions of not helping both of them. You see, if you don't help those who are suffering when it comes to starvation, at least when they will die Muslims. And all that they will leave, or all that they will lose at the end, is their life of this world. But if you don't help those brothers and sisters who are struggling in terms of their faith, if they die, then they might actually lose their afterlife and potentially be entered into the hellfire for a period of time, if not eternity. For that reason, it's important that we don't neglect these brothers. For that reason, we started up a project called Umrah with the Mandem, where we take brothers and sisters from around the world, specifically the UK, specifically London, and we take them with us. And we set up a program that facilitates for them to change. We also provide them support for when they return. And we always select a handful of brothers who can't afford it themselves. And this time, we have taken on board more people without paying anything than we ever have before. And we are in urgent need of their costs being covered. So if you would like to help facilitate towards someone's life changing, then please go to the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and donate generously. Remember, if they change their life, then you're actually helping them, inshallah ta'ala, be a part of saving their afterlife. And in terms of reward, then any good that they do from this point onwards, if they change because of your donation and you're sincere, then you're going to get all that reward as well. So on the Day of Judgment, you get this mountain of good deeds, prayers, charity, fasts, all this stuff that you've never done. But why did it come your way? Because you facilitated with Allah's permission for someone to make change. And then when he changed, he or she did all of these things. And now that reward is all on your scales on a Day of Judgment. So please, brothers and sisters, be as generous as you can. Go to the link below, donate like crazy. Barakallahu feek. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.